Hi everybody, this is John here. This is Paul, George,
and Ringo.
And we're very happy to be on your program once again.
Hello everyone, this is Steve Marinucci welcoming you to another Beatles News Brief, your place for Beatles news and information. And we have a special little extra for you today. If you listen to the Beatles channel, you heard a special featuring members of the cast of The Big Bang Theory. Well, today we have an exclusive interview with Gay Linvill, the associate director of the show, and she's going to talk about how the whole thing came together. And if you're a fan of the series, you already know that the series is ending this year. And she will also talk a little bit about that. So here's Gay Linvill, and I hope you enjoy this interview. We're on the phone with Gay Linvill of The Big Bang Theory. So your position with the
I'm
show?
the associate director on The Big Bang Theory, and I have directed as well there.
Okay. And you've been with them for how long?
Since the first season.
First season, okay. So this came up how?
Everybody there knows I'm a huge Beatles fan. So anyway, I'm a massive Beatles fan.
Mm-hmm.
And they all know it, and, because I talk to them about it. So there are a lot of people on the show in front of the cameras and behind the cameras who are big Beatles fans.
Mm-hmm.
So when we came back this season in the first table read, Mayim Bialik came over to me and said, "Oh my God, Sirius has this brand new station about the Beatles, and I've been listening to it, and it's just great."
Mm-hmm.
And then I started thinking about it would be great for her to do My Fab Four, So I asked her if she would be interested, because she'd heard them, of course, at that point, the features. And she said, "Oh, my God, I'd love to do it." So I called Lou Simon, who's an old friend of mine, and he oversees the Beatles channel and the 60s channel and the Sinatra channel and various others, and asked him if he might be interested in various cast members doing a My Fab Four. And he jumped at it. And he said, "Well, instead of that, why don't we do a special?" So I asked the entire cast, and the four who did it, were on board right away. They're all big Beatle lovers. And then I asked Chuck, who's a hugely massive fan of the Beatles, Chuck Lorre, and he's a former rock musician. He started as a rock musician and didn't have a lot of success there, and decided, well, maybe he could write.
Okay.
And then he decided he could write, and then he dropped the rock musician lifestyle. But in his heart, he's a musician. Of course, he's an incredibly talented genius at comedy, but he's also, at heart, a rock musician. And at our rap parties, he still plays with the band and stuff like that. So I asked him as well, and he said yes, he'd love to do it. So we arranged it, and I arranged with Lou. Lou came to the studio and recorded all five of them.
But just for the record, for people who haven't heard it, who were the five people?
Jim Parsons, Mayim Bialik, Johnny Galecki, and Simon Helberg, and Chuck.
Okay.
Chuck Lorre. So the five of them did it. And we asked them, I asked them and Lou to give more than four. It was going to sort of originally follow a My Fab Four kind of format, which it ended up not.
Mm-hmm.
But he asked them to do 6 or 8 in case there were overlaps. So some of them came in with 6, some came in with 8. I think Chuck had more than that. The Beatles are deep in his heart.
Mm-hmm.
So he picked more. So Lou came in and interviewed everybody at the studio on different dates. And he spent quite a long time with them, and they were all, I didn't know how it would go, if they would be, how deeply they loved the Beatles or whatever. And Lou was so pleased with what he got that there might be a part 2. So stay tuned, because they got great stuff. So
I heard a little bit of it yesterday. I heard Simon do "Don't Let Me Down," and I heard, who else did I hear? Oh, I heard Jim do "Dear Prudence."
They started it with Jim, and he did "Day in the Life." And of the four, he's the least big fan, although he loves the Beatles. But the others are like huge fans. But
yeah, Simon went on for like 4 or 5 minutes on "Don't Let Me Down," going through all this technical stuff.
Yeah, he's a musician.
Is he?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
he
know
plays
that.
keyboard.
I've seen
Well,
him play keyboards a couple of times on the show. Yeah, he does. He's very good.
Yeah. Well, in the movie Florence Foster Jenkins, where they were playing all the classical stuff, I mean, he played it. I mean, he actually played it live. So he's a great musician and has been playing in bands since he was, in high school. But anyway, so Jim's A Day in the Life was so interesting because he talked about how he realized with that song, it really struck him as an actor that you didn't have to be exactly like the person you were acting with, that you could complement each other and bring different styles to something and make it even better than it would have been with one style. And he related that concept to A Day in the Life, which was fantastic. To hear him relate his own art to their art and how that influenced him. Mayim is a huge Beatle fan, and she doesn't, you don't hear it in the special, but she, in addition to playing piano and I think she said trumpet, which she plays, she also plays bass guitar, which she didn't mention, but the reason she plays bass guitar is Paul McCartney. So, she's a big, huge fan.
Big, huge fan.
Yeah. So they all brought their own sort of special expertise and influence, how they were influenced by the Beatles to it. And I was so pleased that they were all different. They knew what they were talking about. It was personal. Chuck's, I thought, was the most emotional because it is so meaningful. Their music is so meaningful to him, on a really deep level as a real musician, rock musician and all that. So anyway, that's how it came about, and it was sort of Lou and I and the gang put it together, and as I said, when I first listened to it, I thought, well, here we go,
Have you talked to any of the cast members since?
I haven't. No, I just listened to it yesterday. So
Okay.
I listened to it, and I only got word that it was going to air yesterday. So at first it was going to be mid-February, and then somehow they moved it up. But it was, I was so pleased with how it turned out, because everybody was interesting. I learned stuff, and if you're a big Beatles fan and you're still learning things, then that's pretty great.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Gay, and good luck with the rest of the season. I'm half crying because this is going to be the last one.
Well, you and me both. Everybody there is getting emotional about it now.
How far into taping are you?
We only have 9 more shows to tape.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And we have a huge show this week, big guest stars, which include, it's already been in the press, but includes William Shatner, Kevin Smith, Will Wheaton, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Oh my.
and Joe Manganiello.
Oh my God.
I don't know, what's in store. I know they know how they're going to end the show. I'm not privy to that, but
I know you wouldn't tell me, but I was going to ask you if you knew anything. But they've already decided how it's going to end?
the writers have decided, but they're not telling anyone outside the writers' room.
Right. Yeah.
And of course, I could change, but I'm pretty sure they're heading towards the end that they've cooked up.
Okay. Well, good. Well, best of luck.
Thank you. April 30th is our last tape night.
Anyway.
It's a hot ticket right now. It's in fact it's now gone. In December, all the tickets were gone for the season.
Oh,
So
I'm sure.
it's hard to get in there.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you.
All right,
Gay.
Thanks.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And one last-minute news development that you'll already know if you've seen my Billboard story about the Big Bang Theory Beatles show is that there will be a part 2. I talked to Lou Simon at Sirius this morning, and he said that they recorded definitely too many to use, and there definitely will be a part 2, and it'll probably coincide with the last episode of the series. And here's a piece of news to remind people in California that you can pre-order a Imagine No Hunger license plate with John Lennon's self-portrait on it if you go to www.californiaimagine.com. And the plates, if you get a plate with no message on it, it's $50. In other words, if you just get a sequential plate. If you get a personalized plate, it's $103. And that's with 6 characters. So go to www.californiaimagine.com. That's it for today. The show is available on Fab4 Radio, thank you Matt, and Beatles-orama, thank you Pat. Tune in, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, and every place you can get podcasts. We suggest you subscribe so that you get the episodes right away after they're uploaded, and we'd love to hear from you. Send your mail to BeatlesNewsDesk@gmail.com, or you can leave comments on Facebook on our Beatles News and Information page, or on YouTube on the YouTube page where we put the podcast. And if you haven't already joined the Beatles News and Information page on Facebook, where we post Beatles news and discussion regularly every day, we suggest you join that. And there's also our That's What I Want Beatles store page with links for things that you may be interested in for yourself or for your favorite person. So, until next time, this is Steve Marinucci saying,
Be seeing you.
Keep that one. Mark it fab.